Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this morning's update, we won't only go over the technical analysis, which we are up about 1.3% on the day, up to 50.6 cents. We bounced off of the 48.5 cent roughly targeted zone. On a drop down, we had a technical target. The first layer to see if we could hold was this 48.8 cent mark, which we are beautifully bouncing off of right now. And if we do push back up, it would suggest we should come back up and retest around that 52.9 cent rising channel resistance. We have formed this short-term pattern formation. It's this ascending triangle. It's basically could be perceived as a bear flag consolidation. Some people were critical yesterday because they said, oh, it can go up and go down. That is true, but I showed the technical targets on a breakdown or a break up, but by no means is that the only move that it can make. Now that it's bouncing off of this support and creating a little W reversal, your next major resistance is up at 52.9 cents. And then if it can break past that, your huge resistance is then going to be back up here at 57 cents. So I wanted to make sure to go over that. And then the only other thing of note before we get into the intro is in order for this to continue up, we could get our first layer rejection at the 512 level. And the reason for that is that's the cup and handle formation. So if it gets rejected there, that's a handle resistance and a rejection, and that could bring us down to those lower levels. 38.7 cents is a big level, which also ties up to the all-time pattern formation here. And right now you can see it's about 39. If it were to break down, 39.6 cents approximately. So we'll go over the short-term technical analysis. We'll go over Bitcoin as it bounced off the bottom. It's up about 2.01%. And Bitcoin bounced off pretty nicely so far. The consolidation here, it already came down here and hit the broadening wedge support for the first time instead of resistance. And now that it's rotating here in the daily, it's very interesting right now. If we can push past this 200 day, so with Bitcoin, what, 63,333 today? If it breaks that, we should be coming back up to retest 66,500. Otherwise, if this is just a fake out here on this Monday morning that sometimes happens, you got to watch that level very closely at this 200 day here, right around 63,330. But we'll look at that as well. And then we'll take a look at the XRP Bitcoin pairing, as I believe it's becoming more and more of a phenomenal deal here as I continue to add into it. Last night I was able to buy some, or early this AM, at 0.00000798, which is my lowest purchase. I've had it everywhere from 838 all the way down to 798. I seen my updated average is about 822. So that's a beautiful thing to see. And I'm going to be buying into this as it consolidates down, as I believe in the future, whether in the next couple of months, or at least in the foreseeable future, I believe after this consolidation, whether Bitcoin and XRP are falling or they're rising, I believe XRP in the short term here soon is going to outperform Bitcoin for a pretty lengthy amount of time when it starts to happen. So I'm going to be buying into the XRP Bitcoin pairing all the way until the appropriate reversal happens. As we know, if you're new, you don't know this, but if you aren't, or if you are new, I'm going to show you this. In a monthly perspective, the XRP Bitcoin pairing is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight red candles. And this is the first one that's showing as if it could be in a bottoming phase and it could start breaking back up. And then the weekly time frame gets me excited because we're attempting, and we are right now for the first time, flip bullish in the weekly as far as the relative strength index. For the first time in 37 weeks, it crossed that support structure. And now it looks to be beautifully back testing if we look at it from these perspectives. And if it holds this back test, we're going to have a pretty incredible reversal right off the bat to 855. Otherwise, we could come all the way back down to 751. And even if it comes farther, I'm building into it until that reversal happens. And I've actually been very, very, very diligent day after day after day. And I'm going to continue to update everybody on this because I think it's important. If you are watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. It really does help bring new viewers to my audience, or new viewers to my program. It'll allow in the YouTube news feed for newer viewers and also older viewers alike that appreciate my content to find it. And I'll give you a second as we go through the intro here to hit that like button. A quick update on my son. He has been home the last couple of days. He started school today. He's in his special needs program for developmentally delayed children. So he gets to start his schooling today, which is fantastic. We just dropped him off. He was a little emotional, but once the teacher took his hand and started walking away with him, instead of crying to us, he started going, ooh, ooh. So that he was actually pretty calm and happy when he started walking in. The cool thing is my son wasn't talking much at all. And he's said mom in the past, but ever since he's been in the hospital, he started to say mom on routine. So now everybody knows he can say one word, mom. So he's getting his voice out, which is fantastic. He's going to be going through speech, occupational therapy, and then obviously, as you guys know, his physical therapy from when he broke his femur when he was 6 months old in that brutal car accident. So he's on the mend right now. So we're very excited. He'll be there. His schooling goes from 8:30 to 11:30, so it's 3 hours a day. So nothing major. So hopefully he adapts, and we're very proud of him for the way he's handled himself. So with that being said, please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this update, and I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good kitty. Good morning. 8:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, May 13th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, let's get into this reading. This is very important today. Some stuff that's coming up here this week. And then we'll get into some extended or more in detail, in depth technical analysis. Real quickly, if you are looking to trade XRP, whether in the USA or worldwide, look in the video description below and or pinned comments for BITUNIX. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees I've found in the USA. You don't need a VPN anywhere in the world, and KYC only if you're sending or receiving from a bank account. So you can have a little bit of freedom when you do some trading. And then if you're looking for the XRP Bitcoin pairing, that's in the MEXC. That's also in the video description below and our pinned comments. New users in the USA are going to have problems, but around the world you'll be easily able to use it. If you're trying to buy that pairing, you buy Bitcoin, and then you go to the XRP Bitcoin pairing and buy that as well. And you're betting on the fact that XRP over time is going to outperform Bitcoin. And that's not today, tomorrow, next week, but that's over time. So pay attention to that, and please hit that like button so that we can get our content out, as I believe we have very vital information here. And I thank each and every one of you for being so involved and doing the positivity over negativity and having that helpful over hurtful mindset, because I don't do hurtful and I like to help people. So I'm a helper, not a taker. I'm a giver, not a taker. I like to extend what I know to people instead of, charging them an arm and a leg just to try to learn some info. That's why I do everything free here. So if you do appreciate what I do, consider sending one YouTube super chat per month or joining Tom's Army to help pay it forward so I can continue to fund this in the way that I see fit. So SEC versus Ripple lawsuit update. All related parties to file letters to seal motions and evidence. So Ripple, SEC, and any third parties are expected to file letters to seal proceedings and supporting evidence by Monday. So that's today, ladies and gentlemen. We should hear something about this late tonight or early tomorrow. Ripple CEO voiced concerns over the SEC's treatment of the largest stablecoin USD Tether. XRP declined below 50 cent support, down 1.38% on Monday. So XRP trades at 49.4 cents. Now, as we know, it's recovered and bounced off the 48.8 cent support, put in what looks like some kind of beautiful bottoming formation, at least in the short term. We still need to get past 51.8 cents to validate this short-term reversal, but we are back up to about 50. Where were we at right now? Roughly, I believe it was 50 and a half, 50 and three, yeah, 50.7 cents. And we reversed about 1.55% here after being down about 1.3% to start the trading day. So a nice reversal here indeed. So losing more than 1% yet, as the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Ripple are set to file the so-called omnibus letter motions on Monday would seal materials and supporting evidence related to the remedies-related court phase. The filing of this motion is one of the last steps before the judge rules on whether Ripple's needs to pay a penalty for its institutional sales of XRP, and if so, which amount should it pay. I'm excited tonight too because we're going back to our regularly scheduled program of doing our lives tonight as we're going back to our schedule, and it's going to be a fantastic and beautiful thing because we've got a lot to catch up on, and I've missed the lives dearly during this last week while my son was hospitalized. Meanwhile, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse criticized the SEC on the U.S. financial regulators' approach towards USD Tether and USDT on a podcast. Daily Digest market movers, SEC versus Ripple lawsuit draws closer to an end. The SEC alleges that payment remittance firm Ripple sold unregistered securities XRP tokens to institutional investors. The regulator has asked for $2 billion in penalties. Ripple responded with a counter of $10 million and proposed another round of litigation. XRP holders are awaiting on two important updates in the lawsuit: the court's ruling on fines imposed on Ripple and whether the SEC chooses to appeal the ruling in the Second Circuit. SEC, Ripple, and other involved parties, meaning friends of the court or amicus curiae, are expected to file omnibus letter motions on Monday. These motions seal recent court filings and supporting evidence in the remedies phase of the lawsuit. And now, here's what's going on in this part. We've already went through some of this, so we'll start going on May 13th. So this is the official document filed on March 19th, 2024. And this was page 2 of 3 by the Honorable Judge Annalisa Torres. So we've already went through May 8th. So now we're on May 13th, which is today. So parties and any third parties file omnibus letter motions to seal all materials relating to the remedies-related briefing, including briefs, declarations, and supporting exhibits. Parties and any third parties also filed proposed redactions to such materials. May 20th, 2024, so 1 week from today, next Monday, parties and any third parties file letter briefs in opposition to omnibus letters motions to seal. Under the joint proposal, the parties would further be required to file public redacted versions of all documents within 14 days of the court's rulings on the omnibus sealings motions. So that would bring us to, at very latest, before Monday, May 27th. So we have to pay attention to this. So this pushes us the next 2 weeks. So this is the official documentation of what's going on from here. So the next key date is May 20th, the deadline for parties and third parties to file letter briefs opposing the omnibus letter motions. The court is expected to rule on the penalty to be imposed on Ripple for the alleged sale of securities to institutional investors in late May. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse shared his thoughts on the largest stablecoin USDT and Tether. In a recent podcast on YouTube, Garlinghouse slammed the SEC for their approach to USDT. And we're going to watch this, a little moment of this, as we already did a lot of technical analysis before I even started because I knew I wanted to get into this. Garlinghouse's take on the SEC's approach towards stablecoins is key to Ripple's narrative since the payment remittance firm is launching its stablecoin later this year. So let's learn what he said about the US dollar and what's going on here. And we're only going to listen to a brief moment.
There are waves of technology that happen where there's amazing tailwinds of value creation and opportunity. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple Labs, a blockchain comparison.
Okay, so this is what I wanted everybody to see. So this is just going to take about a minute.
Some of the people I respect the most are intentionally behind the scenes.
Oh, interesting.
There's some people who I have immense respect for, and admittedly, I will share with you, some of them are kind of what I'd call Bitcoin maximalists.
Yeah.
But I respect the hell out of them. And, but yeah, they have chosen for a host of reasons that they're going to be in the background and try to influence. I will say, there's times when I would prefer that myself, but I also, but I will also say, the industry needs spokespeople.
Yeah.
They need leaders who are stepping forward and representing the industry with central governments around the world, with treasury, central banks around the world. And, we can't all just the anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto's. And by the way, I don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, just to be clear, I'm not pretending that. But I do know a bunch of people I have immense respect for who I think have had a very important in getting this industry to where it is. They just choose to stay in the background.
I respect that. I like that. I want to transition a bit more too on your operating career as a CEO, company builder. We had a dinner, I don't know, probably 6.
Okay, but basically what I wanted you to hear is how he keeps, this is something I've said before. Brad Garlinghouse has taken on the role as he's trying to be a voice for cryptocurrency and deregulation and stuff like that. So he's trying to put things in the forefront. So I try to put little clips where you can see exactly how he speaks. Like he's talking about how somebody needs to be the voice. So I don't believe they're just going to take the underhand when it comes to the SEC. I think there's a lot that you can listen to within his words where he's telling you he's there for the fight and he's willing to be the voice for cryptocurrency when it comes to regulation, when it comes to maybe pushing it forward, and when it comes to giving it the proper pedestal that it deserves, and with the information that a lot of times seems to be undermined. So Ripple price is declining with negative momentum in the altcoins trend on the weekly. We had a bearish engulfing candle on the weekly, FYI. XRP slipped below key support at 50 cents on Sunday. However, we know it's back over 50.6 cents right now. If the decline continues, which it did not as of yet, but it could sweep the 46.65 cent level, the moving average convergence divergence indicator imply there is a negative momentum in XRP price. The RSI reached 37.46. This level was last seen on April 19th when the price dipped to a low of 46.65 cents for XRP. XRP remains well above the oversold zone at 30, leaving more room for the downside before being oversold. If Ripple price closes above the May 12th high of 50.88 cents, it could invalidate the bearish thesis and XRP could climb towards the resistance of 53.10, which in order to confirm that climb, we'd have to get over 51.8 cents to confirm that reversal. This level marks the 50% Fibonacci retracement level of the decline below, or between April 9th top of 64.3 and April 13th bottom of 41.8 cents. So there's a lot of information unpacked there, so watch that again if you have to. Real quickly though, because I want to release this update. XRP right now, we're at 50.58 cents. The major levels for you to remember. Underneath, if we lose 48.8 cents, that could ignite a drop all the way down to 38.5 cents as that's a technical zone. However, if we start looking at this from smaller time frames, we have broke back into a bullish term on the 4-hourly, but we have to get past this midpoint. Otherwise, this is just consolidation, and then it could break back down. We need to get back up and over in the 2-hourly. We still need to get up over 51.8. That's a key area. That's also the cup and handle support as we talked about in the opening. So you got to get over 51.8 cents to invalidate the drop below the cup and handle. The problem is, though, in the weekly, as I've stated, we had a weekly bearish engulfing candle. But for the first time as well, we had a weekly candle where we did eke down below. But we won't know if it does close here because you still got a week. Like I said, it would start below, but that doesn't mean we can't close above. So really what you're looking for by this Sunday in 6-7 days is you're looking to be back over 52.5 cents at minimum. At minimum, because you're going to want to retake that level. But it does look like we could be starting to put in a reversal. So we need to make sure we don't get rejected here. A rejection here would be devastating. If we get rejected here, it's devastating, and it would open up the door to that drop. First level, 48.8, as we already know. Second layer is around that 44-45 cent level. But the technical move is around 39 cents. Let's just not sugarcoat it. If it were to break down, you could find yourselves all the way back down here at the 39.2 cent level, and that's a reset of the pattern. It still stays within the beautiful consolidation, but that very well could be where it resets if this plays bearish. Now, if this is a sneaky bull flag in here, now we've got a little opportunity here. Now, if you can come back over this 51.8 cents, then we go back to this chart, and then I'll leave it at this when I get done. You come back, and your first mid-tier resistance is going to be back here at 52.8 cents. So over the top, first resistance 51.8, next resistance 52.8. Underneath, first support 48.8. You bust that, then you have the opportunity that you could drop some 10 cents all the way down near that 39 cent layer. So just pay attention to that. Bitcoin, real quickly, as we already talked about. Bitcoin needs to come back over this major resistance up near 66,600. But right now we're being squeezed by the 4 hourly and the 200 day. And that's right at 63,200, we'll call it. So you got to get over that. Otherwise, you're going to get rejected and work your way back down near 60,000, 59.5. So that's what we're looking at. And a breach of that area there, it could drop you all the way down to 51,257. And then quickly, the XRP Bitcoin pairing down 0.75%. Continue paying attention to this. That's a beautiful support line. We're oversold in the 4 hourly, 3 hourly, 2 hourly. We're still oversold, trying to break back into a bullish area. 1 hourly, we're hooking back up. Looks like a little W reversal, but it could be a small fake out possibly. We'll only know that if 805 breaks, then we could work our way back down to 755. Right now we're attempting a reversal breakout, and our confirmation happens if we can hold this, and then we confirm the signal if we can get over the 895 area. Have a blessed morning, everybody, and don't forget to give thanks to the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.